What if mainstream motivational advice was plain wrong? See, one of my clients came to me 6 weeks ago saying that no matter how many motivation videos he watched, he barely cared about growing his 10K a month business. In fact, he had been stuck at 10K a month for over a year. 6 weeks later, he has tripled his output, and he just texted me saying that his revenue has also doubled. What changed? Well, he stopped chasing motivation and he started engineering it. And this video is about the dopamine hacking system we give our clients to guarantee they consistently perform at work. Welcome back. I'm Castillo, founder of Selfmastered Performance Institute for Founders. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing so you never miss out on any of the juicy stuff we publish every single week. Let's first start by debunking the most common myths about motivation. See, most entrepreneurs believe that motivation is a function of your goals. If you think big enough, if you set big enough goals, if you're ambitious enough, you will be naturally motivated to chase those goals. That you're going to gravitate towards them. You're going to be pulled forward by a vision and a big goal that takes you to where you want to go. But that doesn't work. It can get you started, but it will never work reliably. Why? Because of two reasons. First, because it is unreliable. See, relying on a big goal, on a big outcome to pull you forward and keep your motivation high does not work. Why? Because big outcomes, big wins are few and far in between. In fact, entrepreneurship is the art of getting rich by failing almost daily at most of the things that you try. So success is not a guarantee, and failure most certainly is. Now, you become successful because you've tried enough things that eventually something works. But you do not rely on big wins and big goals in order to sustain motivation, because for the most time, you're going to be failing at achieving those goals. Until you have failed enough times, you will not have a chance to get that goal. So motivation cannot rely on a big goal that is very far away, that we most certainly will not achieve the way we want it. But also because it is backwards. We do not become successful because we want to become successful. We don't chase success directly. Success is a byproduct of mastery. Success is a byproduct of doing all the right things for long enough to eventually deserve the success we envision. But if we're consistently focused on the big win and we disregard the process, we're never going to achieve that win. See, take the Spanish painter and artist Picasso. He didn't set out to become the best artist in history. No, he committed on producing 10 times more works of art than the second most prolific artist. He produced 40,000 works of art within his lifetime, which equated to eventually becoming the most exciting artist in the 21st century and probably in the story of humanity. He didn't chase success directly, but instead he committed on mastering his craft. Right? So relying on big wins in order to be motivated is unreliable and it is backward. We need to move our attention from the long term to the immediate and engineer our work days to have the right dopamine spikes that's going to help us streamline our behavior, do the right things, don't get distracted, and eventually achieve the success we envision. And the best way to do this is by following the following system. See, the first thing you do is to segment your days in 90-minute increments. 90 minutes is the length of an ultradian cycle, which is, the average energy cycle that your brain and body follow. You can only sustain high quality focus for up to 90 minutes at a time. So we schedule our days around 4 to 6 90-minute blocks. I tell my clients that 3 is the entry point to high performance. Most people can only do one 90-minute block, and our best trained clients can do up to 6 every single day. When you're able to focus for 6 blocks of 90 minutes, you smoke your competition. But you need to get there. You need to train yourself, right? The first thing we do is recreate those blocks into our schedule. And each block is focused on one thing, one specific type of task, one specific project or initiative. And then we assign ourselves 3 scores about the task at hand. First is a focus score. How much focus were you able to master during every 90-minute work session? If you're like the average human, you'll typically find that early in the morning or in the late morning, you'll typically be more focused, and in the afternoon, you'll typically be very unfocused, and towards the evening, you'll catch a second wind that is going to increase your focus again. It's all about a matter of testing, but you'll see that your focus changes throughout the day, and really becoming a performer is about harnessing your own natural cycles. So that's score number 1, the focus score. Score number 2 is mastery score, is how good you are at the task that you decided to take on. So if you're writing, how good was your output? If you're recording, how good was your video. In essence, how well developed is your craft? And then score number 3 is progress score. Is how much did you improve your mastery score over the previous week? Because the goal is to track this every single day and see the numbers trending upwards. So every day is just a collection of 90-minute blocks in which you're tracking your focus, your mastery, and the overall progress every single day. And why does this work? Well, because it taps into 3 dopamine mechanism. The first one is the anticipatory dopamine. See, we typically secrete dopamine in anticipation of a goal. So if we have a 90-minute block with one very clear outcome for that block, we are selecting what is the goal that will eventually give us the dopamine we crave. So we are going to be secreting dopamine throughout those 90 minutes to help us sustain the right amount of focus to eventually complete the task. So that is anticipatory dopamine. Then we also have achievement-based dopamine. When we achieve our goals, when we track our progress and we see that we actually achieved the goal, we get more dopamine because we just completed something that we thought was important for our growth. So you get anticipatory dopamine until you get the goal, achievement-based dopamine once you get the goal, and they have progress-based dopamine. As you start tracking every day and every week how good you are becoming at the things that you are doing, you also secrete dopamine related to the sense of mastery. Over time, you are in this perpetual upward cycle of dopamine-induced positive behaviors that build yourself up. And that is the whole purpose of everything that we do at Selfmastered, is gamifying the daily experience so that you are naturally wired towards showing up every day and do your best work, and tapping into the dopamine system in your brain to secrete dopamine when you're chasing it, in anticipatory dopamine, when you achieve it, achievement-based dopamine, and when you realize and measure how much progress you made. And that is mastery-based dopamine. Apply this system and I guarantee that you will never lack the motivation you need in order to progress. Move away from big goals and big outcomes you have no control over and focus on the immediate, on the feedback loop driven work sessions that will guarantee the dopamine you see. If you want to truly go deep into what does elite performance for entrepreneurs look like, check this document here. We go so much deeper into what is it and how you can best leverage it. See you in the next video.